Hello everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Layton Brothers Mystery Room. We are right on the cusp of getting the criminal for this case. Let's chase her down. Let's do it. So let's assume for a moment that you are indeed mistaken about the order of the scream and the glass breaking and all that stuff. That introduces a new complication. It does. Indeed, because we know that the door and the window were both locked before the incident occurred. If the culprit didn't break the window, how did he or she get into the flat?
Why, I have no idea. Just what are you trying to say, Inspector?
What I'm trying to say is simple. We can now be sure that the true perpetrator of this crime is you, I guess. You've been the only suspicious one this whole time, I guess. Ha! Take that!
It were you, Miss Goldie Potsbymon!
At the time of the attack, the window and the door of the flat were locked.
The only other way in was by smashing the window, but we know that happened after the victim died.
With no method of entry available, the only conclusion is that the culprit did not come in from outside. No, the person who did this was in the flat from the outset. And the only person who fits that bill, Miss Potsbymon, is you!
Am I to understand that you are accusing me of murder because I was in my home the whole time? Ah, you are to understand that. Then I must remind you of something of vital importance that you appear to have overlooked. Oh? What's that? Oh, just a little bitty thing called a murder weapon. I hear it told that... What? I hear it told that you still have not found it anywhere inside the apartment, which I never left. If I am to be accused of this crime, why, I would just love to know where I'm supposed to have put it.
Indeed, I confess to having been stumped by that conundrum.
Well, there you have it. You have not a shred of evidence that I killed my husband.
However, we did eventually manage to locate the murder weapon.
Huh? I beg your pardon? Aye, that's right. We know exactly what you used to skewer your man. I do declare, well, that is simply not possible.
You didn't dispose of the murder weapon outside of the flat. No, it's been in there the entire time.
You're starting to rile me, Inspector. Tell me where this murder weapon I'm supposed to have used is.
Where is it? It's in the clock. Who put the weapon in the weapon jar? Take this! Hiya! Your undoing is nearly here.
The murder weapon were hidden in the clock. Well, are you quite sure? Sure as eggs are eggs, I. It were the minute hand of the clock that we used to kill Mr. Potsby. Why, that is hogwash. A man could never be killed with such a thing.
Well, the shape of the hand matches the victim's wound perfectly.
Ah, you haven't got long to wriggle your way out of this one. Forensics are going over it with a fine-tooth comb as we speak.
Oh, there it is. What perfect dramatic timing. Speak of the devil.
Hello? Come on, give us the good news.
Shape of it? Well, it is almost. So, it's not it. She just gave herself away? It's something else? You admit it now.
I don't think so. Do you, Inspector? Prof!
What's the matter?
The results from forensics! They found no traces of blood whatsoever!
Really?
My, what a terrible shame! Your trump card turned out to be a joker in the end. I do declare I hate when that happens.
No, I must have missed something.
Prof? Can I assume we are finally on the same page now, Inspector? That outlaw Nix is responsible for my husband's death, and I am no longer under suspicion. If you could just fill out these forms for me with words to that effect. Forms? Well, my husband's life insurance simply will not pay out without the proper paperwork, Miss Baker.
She's not even trying to hide it. This is crazy. I guess she's taking full advantage of the justice system and how you need the right evidence and stuff. My God, she's not even trying to hide it.
Have you got no shame at all? We're talking about a man's life here! Why, you have no idea what you are talking about, Missy. Jack doted on me. He would turn in his grave if he thought his little pot of gold would not be mine.
Oh, so it's supposed to be like her accent saying mine. That's what it is. So Goldie pots be mine. I didn't understand the whole time the be and mine part. I'm like, the hell is that? It's her accent that, god damn it.
He would turn in his grave if he thought his little pot of gold would not be mine after his death.
Like that. Oh my freaking god. Okay.
How'd you have the gall to say something like that?
Oh! Ooh, here it comes. Here comes whatever weird shenanigans is going on with this guy. Killing for cash. Not a bad idea.
Prof? Are you alright?
But your motives are far, far darker than that, aren't they, Goldie? I'll figure out his voice later, whatever.
Don't get uppity.
That's not Lucy.
Don't get uppity with me now, Inspector.
Oh, but you enjoy it, don't you? You kill for money, but it's not the cash you're after. It's the kick, isn't it?
What do you want about, Prof? What's got into you?
I can just imagine it. That little smile creeping onto your lips as you prepare the murder weapon.
I will not fall into your petty trap, Inspector. Need I remind you that you still have not even found this murder weapon of which you speak?
And we never will. Because it no longer exists. It's some ice thing, isn't it? Some water thing, isn't it?
Inspector, I do declare you have lost your mind. Are you suggesting the murder weapon just vanished into thin air?
You'd be delighted if that's what we concluded, wouldn't you? But let me put it another way. The weapon that was used to stab Jack Potsby didn't exactly vanish. It melted. Oh god, so I knew it! Okay, alright. Drip, drip.
Hey, what, in a furnace or something? Hang on, I think I get it now. I know what happened!
Where did the murder weapon... So she kept mentioning the balcony, but there isn't. So, cooking pot. Melted, I mean, it could have melted in here, I guess. It was a fire source, it's hot. So, it was a nice weapon, wasn't it?
The murder weapon must have been melted in this pot!
Oh, yes. The weapon that killed Potsby disappeared in this very pot.
I have no idea what you were talking about. I assure you I was simply making my husband and I some pasta.
Don't mock me! Where's the cutlery? Where are the bowls? The pasta sauce? There's no sign of any preparation of a meal at all. Just the pasta in this pot of boiling water.
I had intended to prepare those things later, but I don't think so. I don't think that pasta were ever meant for eating at all.
No. The pasta was prepared for the sole purpose of the little disappearing act. Tell me by now you figured out what the murder weapon was, Lucy.
Oh, I'm with you now, Prof. Even though you're sounding crazy and really deranged and very sadistic and kind of scary, I'm just going to focus on the case now. The murder weapon was...
One of the clock hands, a kitchen knife, a glass shard, a knife made of ice. There it is. Finally. Finally. Okay. There we go. We've got you now. 100% certainty.
The weapon used to stab Jack Potsby to death were a knife made of ice. He would have melted in not in no time at all in a pot of boiling water like that one with the pasta in it. That was a really hard statement to say.
Oh my god.
Well, anyone with an ounce of horse sense can see that this is just a fiction you have concocted. Even if there was a knife made of ice like you say, it's gone now, has it not? My hands are clean. You could never prove I had such a weapon in my possession. Well, no, perhaps not, but, Prof?
Yes, we can.
Pardon me, Inspector. Are you back to normal now, Prof?
Sorry, Lucy. Yes, I'm fine now. Thank you.
What are you two whispering about over there?
We're discussing the ice knife. Interesting. So, I wonder how often that happens. You are, of course, correct that the knife itself is no more. However, in order to make the knife in the first place, there was a mold, and that mold is still on the scene.
I surely would like to see it.
Lucy, do you know what was used?
Okay, is this finally coming into play? I will be very happy if it does. Yay! I was right the whole time. Okay, cool.
Take this! Take that! Hell yeah!
It were this damp piece of card that we used to mold the shape of the knife. If you fold it back up along the creases, let's see what you get. Oh, look! A perfect knife shape!
Yes, you lined the mold with cling film or the like, then filled it and put it in the freezer to make your knife. We'll be able to match the shape of the mold to that of the victim's wound to be certain, of course.
Why, it's nothing more than a coincidence. Anyone can see that.
We have more evidence against you. After you stabbed your husband, you used a towel to wipe the blood off the knife.
The towel we found on the balcony.
Yes, and once you were satisfied you'd removed all the blood, you put the icy weapon in the boiling water. But are you absolutely sure you removed every last trace?
I'm sure I do not follow.
In my experience, no one ever manages to remove all traces of blood from a weapon. If you indeed dissolve the knife that killed your husband in boiling water, we will be able to positively identify the victim's blood when we examine the pot.
Why, you little...
Lucy, have forensics go over the pot for us, will you?
Straight away, Prof!
Oh my god! Hell yeah! Hell yeah, Axis knows what's up!
I spoke with forensics. They're on the case already.
Now we merely need... Sorry. Now we merely need to wait for the results. Are you ready to admit to your crime now, Miss Pottsby-Mon?
I have no intention of admitting to anything, Inspector! Even if you can prove that my husband was killed with a knife made of ice, it does not mean I did it! Oh, now that you've had it, Loss! Jeez! I have had nothing, Miss Baker, other than my innocence questioned most unjustly!
Unfortunately for you, there is no logical way in which you are not guilty. If you will cast your mind back, when we showed there was no way into the flat when the incident took place, the door and windows were locked. In other words, only somebody who was already inside could have stabbed Mr. Pottsby.
Oh, please!
You admitted yourself that you did not leave the flat. In your own words, the apartment which I never left.
No,
Or is that another statement you would now like to retract? I must warn you that doing so is only likely to make things worse for you in the end, though.
I demand to see my attorney! You cannot continue to question me in this way!
Certainly. Lucy, make the necessary arrangements, please.
Will do, Prof. Why, to be accused because of such a petty little thing.
We did it! Mystery solved! Woohoo! Okay, so I mean, so far I guess there's only like very specific kind of things that stick out and make things a bit obvious, but at the same time it's a bit obscured, so I'm trying to figure out how I feel about the setups of the cases so far. Like, I'm enjoying it, but I'm wondering if it's either like too obvious or too vague. Like, I'm not entirely sure yet. Either way, I'm having fun theorizing, going along with it, seeing their train of thought. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
She put up quite a fight, eh?
Yes, she did.
I were in a right tiz when the lamb said they found nothing on that clock hand, I can tell you.
Don't worry, Lucy. You weren't alone. It's a bit of a gamble as to whether they'll find any traces of blood in the pot of pasta as well.
You're choking, aren't you?
I'm pretty sure she's going to confess now, though.
Pretty sure, eh?
So, like, are we gonna talk about your other personality, or no? Okay, maybe in the next case. Maybe in the next case, buddy. We gotta talk about that eventually. I forgot your voice. It's been a while. It's probably just like something that sounded really sick or something like that. I think she had an accent too. Whatever. Fendi. She's admitted everything.
Oh, what a relief!
I'm gonna do without an accent. It's too hard to sound sick and do it at the same time. It seems she was after the man's life insurance. She told us as much when we were questioning her, would you believe? Oh, well, did you know this? We found out that Pottsby won very large sum of money last year. That's when Miss Mon came into his life. Hardly what you might call a coincidence.
She were a real gold digger, eh?
It's so straightforward. I guess I guess it's more about like finding out the method of which she did it rather than the motive, because it was very obvious, and there was no other, like the other two suspects were barely suspects, so. Well, it seems Potsby was spending money like water. She was terrified he'd rack up as much debt as the insurance payout, so she had to murder him quickly. God damn, girl, ice cold. I see. So it was something of a rush job. She no doubt prepared better for her other spouses.
So it's all done and dusted then? Fabulous!
I must say, Al, you don't look very well. Are you alright?
Probably that Jekyll and Hyde moment you'd had taken it out of you, eh, Prof?
That's a bit of an exaggerated way of describing it, Lucy. But I do feel a little under the weather. I think I'll go home early if no one objects. I would want to ask more. Like, that was... Lucy's kind of just going like, oh, you had like a bit of a something going on, but like, whatevs, you feel that right? Like, she's not questioning it further when I feel like she could be in danger, you know, and that's just in the workplace. That's kind of weird. Anyways.
Are you sure you'll be alright?
It's nothing a bit of sleep won't cure, I'm sure. Can you close up the office when you leave?
Consider it done. I hope he's alright.
So it happened again, did it?
Hey, do you know then, Florence, about the Prof? Whatever's it all about, eh?
Calm down, Lucy. I really don't know all that much about it. But you're safe as long as there's a criminal present. Oh, jeez. So if there isn't a criminal present and he does that, then she's in trouble? I think that's all. I think I'm most scared for my safety. I think I'm gonna get out of here, be transferred to a different department. Thank you.
You don't hear that said every day.
What I mean is the other Al is only interested in criminals. Okay. You won't come to any harm, so don't go like stealing his pen or something. Then you'll be a criminal and he's gonna grill the hell out of you, maybe kill you.
So he's got some kind of vendetta against criminals or something?
Actually, from what I've seen of him, I'd say it's quite the opposite. He empathizes. He likes getting into their head, maybe. He can't help liking them. All the more so, the more atrocious they are. That's interesting. That is not what I was expecting. Okay.
I don't like the sound of that.
There's really no cause for alarm. Are you sure? A person that loves the twisted criminals, the more twisted they are and loves that? Like, you know, I've got plenty of friends and people out there. We love like killing game stuff, murder mystery stuff. Like, I get that, but this is like real, in their world, they're like empathizing with real criminals. Like, that's a line you can't cross, man. Like I said, as long as there's a criminal present, you're perfectly safe.
What happens if he shows up when it's just the two of us, though?
If it were me, I'd rip out my drip and run like the wind. We're in danger, y'all. We're in danger.
I think I'll come in my plimsolls tomorrow.
What's a plimsoll? I don't know what that is. Some kind of shoes? Either way, we're in trouble, dude. It's playing this like nice, relaxing music after we've had like a horrible revelation. Okay, so I'm wondering if I have to purchase. I think I have to purchase these. Do I have to, is it gonna take me to the, did I already purchase them? Oh, maybe I have. Okay, we're nearing the end of the episode. Yeah, why don't we just end off today's episode there? I thought I was gonna have to purchase the rest of them, but I guess I already have. It hasn't prompted it or anything like that. So, y'all, we have finally gotten to see what was like up with Alfendi, because we got a tiny little glimpse of it in the very beginning with that like him shadowed and like lightning was flashing and it was all creepy, right? But then we kind of pushed that out of our minds for a little bit. We finally got to see it, and it sounds terrifying. He was really getting in there. He was really screaming and going like, yes, you liked it, didn't you? Killing him, twisting, stabbing, ooh. What an interesting protagonist. I really wasn't expecting that, because normally like protagonists, they're usually generally good, I guess. They don't normally have these kinds of sides to them. So, you know, that makes it interesting. That makes it interesting, especially again that it's tied to Layton. Like not Layton the person, but Layton the series. So interesting that they made a whole ass main character like this. I'm interested in finding out more about him. I'm definitely interested in finding out more about him. All right, join me next time for Case 3. We've wrapped it up, everybody. Case 3. See you then. This is Axis, over and out.